World of English with Sakshi Khanna. Once again, in today's session, we are discussing about the conditional tenses. So, these tenses are not so common. It's in the advanced series of doing the spotting error based questions, misconceptions, etc. I just want to tell you about this topic, that why I have chosen in this topic about the conditional tenses, because in spotting error section we are maximum time 99%, I tell you, even 100%, I am for sure that you will be getting only the complex sentences, and in the complex sentences there is one independent clause and maybe one or two dependent clause. So these type of sentences are known as complex sentences, and conditional tenses are used for that. Okay, so you need to know the basic strategy of doing conditional tenses so that you can find out the error based on the conditional as well. So shall we move on? Yes. Talking about today's topic, conditional tenses. They are used to speculate. Speculate means to believe, especially on uncertain or tentative grounds. Means there is some logic in the sentence you will get. Then you will make the believe about what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would happen. So 3 levels. Number 1, what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would happen. So in English, most sentences using the conditional contain the word if, if. Very important to understand. Many conditional forms in English are used in the sentences that include verbs in one of the past tense. Conditional sentences with if. What are conditionals in English grammar? Sometimes we call them if clauses. If clauses, that is why I explained you, your spotting error based questions are purely based on the complex sentences, means mixture of clauses. Sometimes we call them if clauses. They describe the result of something that might happen in the present or future, or might have happened but did not in the past. They are made using different English tenses. Majorly, we are discussing about 4 types of conditional. Number 1 is zero conditional. Zero conditional format if plus present simple plus present simple. Now, sharing with you the basis form how to catch the error with clauses sentences, with if based clauses sentences or the conditional sentences. That 4 major types of conditional I am doing in today's session. Okay, and I am giving you the format as well. There will be some problem, there will be some mishandling with any of the clause which will create an error in the sentence. You need to catch that, and that you can catch only if you know the real format, actual format of every type. Number 1, we are talking about zero conditional. It has format if plus present simple plus present simple. Means present simple both the way in both the clauses. Okay, second type we have first conditional. If plus present simple plus will and infinitive. Next we have the second conditional. Format if plus past simple plus would plus infinitive. The third conditional. If plus past perfect plus would plus have plus past participle, means the second form only. Now I tell you in the detail, okay, all the 4 types. Don't get confused. I have just spoken. No. Slide by slide, you will understand with the set of example all the clauses, all the conditional if based clauses, or you can say the conditional tenses. Let's move on to the technical lecture of conditional sentences. Okay guys, conditionals with 4 types is on your screen. Number 1 is zero type. First conditional, second conditional, third conditional. Okay, there are 4 main types of if sentences in English. Often they are called conditional sentences. Now I am just making the ground level knowledge to you people. Okay, so that you can move to the conditional sentences properly. Basic knowledge I am giving you, because I know that even though you must have done in your schooling in 8th or 7th class, okay, but still I want to give the information from the root level, from the ground level. So first we will be talking about the basics, then we will move to advanced standard. These sentences are in two halves, means two clauses. The if part, if clause. The other part where you can use words such as can, will, may, might, could and would in the main clause. Okay, so such type of words will be the indication, and if word second indication that it's a conditional sentence. So we need to check the format according to that only. Talking about the first one, zero conditional. If clause, main clause. I told you the same format. Now with the same example, if plus present simple, and in the main clause it will be the same. If they have made some changes in the tense in second clause, then there will be an error. You need to take out that section as an error. Erroneous section. Let us talk about the example now. If I am late for school, my teacher gets angry. Okay, if is there, am simple present, second clause simple present, no error. If I oversleep, I miss the bus. If I miss the bus, I am late for school. If I am late for school, my teacher gets angry. Now you can see with the example what I want to show you, that in both the clauses, main as well as the dependent, with if structure, I am using simple present only. So this is known as the zero type. Next we are moving to the first conditional. If clause, if plus present tense, main clause will, can, may, must plus verb. What is there? All the models plus verb. Now it depends upon the situation. Let us talk about some examples. If I go to London, I will see the Big Ben. If I go to London, definitely in the present tense, then only I will see the Big Ben. This is a condition for me to move to London if I want to see the Big Ben. It's a monumental building in London, Times Square, as Times Square in New York. Let's understand more deeply with this example. If I go to London, this is a condition, means I need to catch the flight. I need to go to London to see the Big Ben. Okay, if I go to Buckingham Palace, I can take a photo of the Royal Guard. Royal Guard is in the Buckingham Palace only. For that you need to go. This is a condition, means there is a condition, you need to go to the Buckingham Palace. So if will come with the dependent clause. Okay, and independent clause will have all the infinitives. If you go to London, you must look right before crossing a street. Second conditional, if clause, if plus past simple in first clause, main clause would, could, might plus verb. As I told you in the narration, we made the changes. In the same way you need to make the changes here. Now how we can assume that there is an erroneous part? How we will see that? Look at the example. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. I will travel in a spaceship can be an erroneous section of the sentence. If I make the changes, means I replace would with will. Okay, so it will never come. So you need to make the changes. Main clauses should have would, could, might plus verb. Okay, if outside or in the if clause has past simple. This will be the format. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. If I traveled in a spaceship, I would go to Mars. Now, if I traveled, again, simple past, okay, in the main clause, I would go. Go with would always come with first form. No changes, okay, because main verb is would here. It will be considered. If I went to Mars, I would meet a Martian. Nice to meet you. If I went to Mars, again second form. Please focus over the point. What I want to tell you, that first clause has second verb. So don't think that in the main clause also What will come? The second form. No, we can't change because would is there, model is there. We need to give the verb. Infinitive form means no changes, first form. If I met a Martian, I would not understand him. Again the first form. If I didn't understand him, I would come back to the art. We are moving to the third conditional. If clause means if plus past perfect. Now you need to understand past perfect is there. Then what will come? Main clause would, could, might plus have plus past participle. Now in the third type of conditional we will make the changes in the verb as well because now would is coming with have. Look at the example. If I had studied hard, I would have passed my exam. What will be the clue? If clause is coming with past perfect structure, then you will provide past participle with the verb form and you will add have with all the models. Okay, just look at more example. If you had studied hard, you would not have failed your exam. Now look at the erroneous section. If I will replace failed to fail, that means there is an erroneous section. So you need to make it out. If you had passed your exam, you could have gone to the beach. Now go to the other way. If you had, if I remove had means simple past your exam, then have gone is in the wrong format. It should be deleted. So where will be an error? In first section. Okay, in A section there will be an error. If I had gone to the beach, I would have made sand castles. Again, if I remove anything or in the main clause, error can be in any section, maybe the main clause or in the supportive clause. But you need to understand the format. You need to focus over the format of the clauses or the conditional tenses. Now make zero conditional sentences use cues. Jen eat too much chocolate, she gets sick. You not eat, you die. You heat ice, it melts. So in this way you are getting, so this is just for the example for you need to understand. Means with the slash you will be getting your ABCD section and you need to find out the error. Okay, so let's move ahead. These are the exercise which we can't do here. Okay, because we are helpless. We are in the virtual classroom. But in the traditional classroom, I must have done with you. After this briefing session, now I am moving to the detailed session of conditional sentences in English. In previous section, I just covered with some set of example to show you what are the four types and what type of format we should follow while dealing with such conditions. Okay, now with the format with examples properly. Let's move on. Conditionals, first of all, the technical definition of conditional. The conditionals are used to talk about real or unreal situations. Maximum time, the unreal situation. Sometimes they are called if clauses. Used to show an action is reliant on something. Reliant means dependent on something. Okay, we are talking about some action which is associated with something else. Real conditional describes real life situation. Unreal conditional describes unreal, imaginary, some impossible situation. If I were the Prime Minister of India. Okay, like this. Conditional sentences. Now look at the format, basic format. A conditional sentence is composed of two parts. If clause plus main clause. If it rains tomorrow, we will put on raincoats. If will always come with the dependent clause, never with the main clause. Okay, situation can be changed. Sorry, the sequence can be changed. It can come in front as well. But maximum time, if will always come in front. Conditional sentences, the order of the two clauses is flexible. As I told you, it can go in front or after. When the if clauses comes first, it must be followed by a comma. If clause has very big condition, it has comma. Okay, when we are jumping to the main clause. If it rains, I will stay at home. I will stay at home if it rains. I have removed the comma here. Okay, now I told you many times that punctuation marks are never the base of your spotting error question in the examination. But here the punctuation mark mean comma is not related to that section. You can have the error. You can have the error in the same form as well. Fine. Means you need to find if it rains before that comma is missing. Okay. If it rains, comma is missing and they have started I will stay at home, then B section can have the error. You need to find out. It can be done, but chances are very less. You need to counterpart with such type of sentences. Now talking about the 4 types of conditional sentences. They are classified according to the degree of probability that they express. It's purely based on the condition, the result, the consequences, okay, the situation, the 4 types of conditional. Each type of conditional sentence uses different tenses to show the difference in the degree of probability. Okay, so all 4 types have different format of using the tense. First of all, zero conditional, which I told you, factual. Factual ground is there. No imagination, okay, no unreality, no impossibility. If, when, plus present tense, present tense. Look at the format which I want to tell you. Water boils if it reaches 100 degree. Okay, means both the statements are correct. First conditional, likely to happen. Zero conditional, fact based. First conditional, it can happen. Look at that. If I study, I will pass. So simple to understand. Okay. So always remember zero conditional. First conditionals are come in the category of real conditionals because they have some logical ground to express. Second conditional and third conditional, unreal conditionals. They are known as unreal conditionals. So second conditional, hypothetical situations. If plus, past plus, would plus, infinitives. If we won the lottery, we would travel the world. Impossible is the third conditional. Hypothetical situation, it can be, means chances are very rare because hardly we win the lottery. It is like that. Third conditional, impossible. If plus past perfect, would have plus. If I had studied, I would have passed. Unreal, if I had studied, okay, means it's all over. The time had gone now. So, I would have passed. So, this is the format of each and every type and the clues. These are the clues. Real conditionals, unreal conditional. Unreal conditionals have some limitations. Real conditionals are so simple to understand. Zero conditional, it is used to talk about things that are always true or factual based. Scientific facts, general or universal truths come in this category. Come in the category of zero conditional. Present simple plus present simple. Look at the format. Format present simple plus present simple. You need to understand that if you expose phosphorus to air, it burns. It's a real statement, proved statement. Okay, so this would be the format. Present simple, present simple. Always remember the format. Look at some more example to understand properly about the zero conditional. If people eat too much, they get fat. If you touch a fire, you get burned. People die if they don't eat. Look at the third sentence, no comma. You get water if you mix hydrogen and oxygen. Snakes bite if they are scared. If babies are hungry, they cry. Second type we have first conditional, maybe, may not be. Very likely situation. It is used to. So, talk about the situations which are very likely to happen. Giving advice and instructions. Maximum you will be getting some advice, some sort of instructions. Okay, suggest something which is unlikely to happen. Talk about the result of a situation which is just a possibility. Talk about present decisions based on future abilities. Okay, means you are suggesting something, advising something like that. First conditional. Look at the format. Possible sentence structure. First of all, if plus simple present plus simple future. Very easy to understand. Both conditions and results are very likely to happen. Means they both are associated. If Javed gets a good result, he will study medicine. If he fails his exam, he will not go abroad. If Javed gets a good result, he will study medicine, of course, because medicine, education, admission, purely associated with the good result, good score. If plus simple present imperative, when we are talking about some advice, some instruction, some command. If you feel tired, drink a cup of coffee. It's an advice. If you can't wake up, buy an alarm clock. Again a suggestion. If you see my wife, tell her I will be late for dinner. Informative. Okay? Such type of sentences imperative, but the format will remain same. If plus simple present plus yes, simple future. Some more example to see with first type of conditional sentence. If plus should plus imperative. In this way we can suggest that something is unlikely to happen or is not particularly probable. Probable means not seeming it will happen. If you should run into Peter, tell him he owes me a letter, because chances are very rare when it will happen. If you should run into Peter. If plus simple present plus may. The result of the condition is just a possibility. May be, may not be. We often talk like this. If we go to writing workshop, we may not get time to shop. Chances are very rare. If we don't give them directions, they may get lost. Again, the same sequence means possibility, very less. If plus simple present plus can, would. We use this form when we make present decision about future ability. Okay, otherwise we use will be able to when we are talking about some consequences. If I haven't enough time today, I can wash your car tomorrow. I can wash your car tomorrow. If I haven't enough time today, I can wash your car tomorrow. Means tomorrow it can be done. Now, sentence structure in first conditional. Recapping the type, okay, because there are so many types, so many subtypes we have done in first type. So, I need to recap, refresh your content. If plus simple present plus will, both conditions or results are very likely to happen. If plus simple present plus imperative, giving advice or instruction. If plus should imperative, to suggest that something is unlikely to happen, chances are very less. If plus simple present plus may, the result of condition is just a possibility. Means we will make the possibility. Moving to the second conditional, hypothetical situations. It is used to talk about unreal or impossible situations in present or future. These structures are used to imagine, purely depend upon the imagination. You can say what would it be like if things were different, means contradiction. If I were rich, I would travel around the world. If I have a car, I could drive your home. So if I were rich, means there is no chance, I am very poor, so I would travel around the world. Here you need to understand, if I were rich, if I have a car, the consequence of the condition. What is the consequence? Okay, and hypothetical, some unreal, some impossible situation we are talking about. If plus simple past plus would. If I were the president, I would end unemployment. If I won the lottery, I would buy a Ferrari. If I were you, I would start packing now. Next we have in the same series of the second type of conditional, if plus simple past plus might. The result of the condition would be just a possibility. Means there are some chances. If you drove with drowsy head, You might have an accident. If you were not so selfish, you might be happier. Means the first section, no chance at all. Okay? But in the B section means with the might, there is some possibility to make it to happen. Some more examples. If plus simple past plus could. The meaning of could here is would be able to. If I had another 1,000 rupees, I could buy the latest edition of this book. I could have passed my CSS exam if I had another month for preparation. Means simple past plus could when would be able to. See the situation. So ultimately, I just tell you one thing. The clue, keep in the mind, you need to read the sentence to catch the error and understand the situation, what type of situation is, and you can find out the error, and purely it will come based on the tenses. If I were to plus would, this makes a future possibility sound less probable, no chances, very less, hardly, rarely. If World War were to break out, I would emigrate to Mars. Means very less chances. We can't emigrate to Mars because we need to face the war situation. It is just like of today's. Means as we are observing, the news of Third World War is so prominent. Okay? But this is not an option. What I want to say, if World War were to break out, were to sequence, were to format plus would will always come. Okay? Now, refreshing the second conditional type with the format if plus simple past plus would, but with what will come? To imagine what would it be like if things were different with the first form only. If plus simple past plus might means you could make it possible. Fine. If plus simple past plus could, to talk about a past ability with a hypothetical condition, past ability which had never passed, never happened in the past, and the time had gone. How you will make it possible? If were to plus would means no chance in the future it would happen. Third conditional, final type. It is used to talk about conditions which didn't happen in the past and so the result didn't happen either. It is used for speculating about past events. If you had not been lazy, you would have been on time for the auditions. Means both related to the past. If he had come earlier, he could have had a free lunch. Look at the format in detail. If plus past perfect, perfect conditional. Always you need to remember if he had means the structure is based on, the sentence structure is based on the past perfect. Then you need to add have. Okay. Always you need to add have. Where to need to have? If he had studied, he would have passed. So simple to understand. If plus past perfect plus might have. If someone had heard the SOS, their lives might have been saved. Might have been saved. Been is the format. You know the tenses. We need to add in that. Been is compulsory. If plus past perfect plus could have. Now, all the models you need to understand what is the point here. They are coming with the addition that is been. If plus past perfect could have been means here able to. If my parents had not been poor, I could have gone to university. University, okay, had not been poor. If my parents had not been poor, I could have gone to university. Look at the verb, third form, perfect situation. Perfect situation means the perfect sequence you need to follow with third form. There are some possibilities, except if we have some other words in the sentence as a clue. They are also known as a third type of conditional tenses. Provided, providing, supposing, as long as, on condition that. Such examples will make you people understand properly. Number was supposing you fell into a water pool on a winter morning. What would you do? You can borrow my bike, provided you bring it back. I will give you the day off on condition that you work on Saturday morning. You are welcome. You are welcome to stay with us as long as you share the rent. Now just refresh 0, first, second and third conditional here in this tabular form. 0, certain, full possibility. First, likely. Second, unlikely. Means impossible. Third, really impossible. Now look at the 0. 0, if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils anytime. Always ready to make it happen. Means based on the ground level, factual level. So we are sure with that. Likely, in the future. First type, purely based on the future. If it rains, I will stay in. Unlikely, I won the lottery. If I won the lottery, I would retire. Future. Impossible, if I had the money, I would lend it to you. No chance at all. Rarely. Impossible, if I had seen him, I would have given him the message. Past. Final recapitulation of today's session. Types of conditionals. Conditional tenses, you know, they are based on the real, unreal, probable, most probably, situation, possible, impossible situation. So there are 4 basic conditionals that we use in English. 0 conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional. 0 conditional, just recap very fast. The 0 conditional is used for things that are always true as long as the condition is met. Condition and the reality both are interconnected and based on the fact. Look at the example. You heat water to 100 degrees Celsius. It boils. Fact universal. I drink coffee. I get a headache. Fact personal. Okay? 0 conditional. Look at the example. If they can't find you, they can't wash you. First conditional sentence is for future actions dependent on the result of another future action or event. Means interconnected. Where there is a reasonable possibility of the conditions for the action being satisfied. Means real situation. Always remember. Look at the format. If plus present simple plus will. She gets good grades. She will go to university. We are talking about the future, but we use a present tense for the condition and will for the result. In this case, the person is sure about going to university. Definitely. First conditional here, we can use other modal verbs in the result of the sentence. How to use the modal verbs? She gets good grades. She will go to university. If the condition is met, then she definitely will go. Condition should be met. I want to say that. If he gets good grades, he may go to university. He is not sure about going to university. If he gets good grades, only that is a condition. She gets good grades, she should go to university. The speaker is expressing his or her opinion and giving advice. He gets good grades, he can go to university. This means that it's a possible task. She gets good grades, she could go to university. This means that it is possible but not that likely. If she gets good grades, she could go. Understand the meaning of could. Where we use, then you will find out the error. He gets good grades, he might go to university. This means that it is possible but not that likely. Might, where we use might. You need to understand that. Moving to the third type, second conditional. It can be used to talk about imaginary present situations where we are imagining something different from what is really the case. We can also use it to talk about things in the future that are unlikely to happen. Means purely based on the imagination. As the condition is unlikely to be met, means the second condition which we are using, it's not associated, not interconnected. We use the past tense in the condition past and would for the result. Look at the format so far. Second condition. If plus past simple plus would plus base form. Base form V1 means verb first form. I had the time. If I had the time, I would learn Italian. Impossible. I have no time. So simple to understand. If I won the lottery, I would travel around the world. Both the situations are saying neither I won the lottery nor I would travel around the world. Unlikely means unreal. We can use other models verb. Now with the other model verbs, look at the format once again. If I had the time, I would learn Italian. The base. Okay. Although unlikely to happen, the speaker is sure that they would do it given the opportunity. If there is bit of chance. If I had more time, I might learn English. Although unlikely to happen, it is only a possibility anyway. I had more time, I should learn some more about it. I had more time, I could learn Hindi. If I had more time, although unlikely to happen, it is only a possibility any of the way. Third conditional final type is used when we are talking about the past and imagining something different from what actually happened, means contradictory. That means for imaginary past action where the conditions for the action were never satisfied. Okay. No ground, no logic means unreal. Simple to understand. Look at the format. If plus past perfect would have plus past participle means which form? Yes, the third. I had known. If I had known, I would have helped. If I had known, I could have helped. If I had known, I might have helped. If you had known, you should have helped. Now, in all the situations, the same sentence. Look at the situation is totally different. Although this didn't happen, the speaker is sure about the result. If I had known, I would have helped. Second situation, although this didn't happen, the result is only a possibility. In the same way, you will read the sentence, find the context, okay, and you will catch the error. Okay, so in the animation series, let's brief you up the conditionals. If is a clue, 0, first, second, and third type. If you freeze water, it becomes a solid. If you freeze water, it becomes a solid. Look at the example. Both the situations are based on the logic. Freezing temperature make the water solid. Okay? It is used to talk about things which are always true. If clause, present simple, present simple. If you heat ice, it melts. Ice melts if you heat it. No comma is there. If you mix red and blue, you get purple with comma. You not eat, you die. If you do not eat, comma, you die. My daughter eat too much chocolate, she gets sick. If my daughter eats too much chocolate, she gets sick. If you go to Orlando, you will meet Mickey. What tense is the first verb in? What tense is in the second verb in? You need to understand that the difference, because simple present first and you will meet Mickey. The second means reality. If this condition is fulfilled, then this consequence will come. It is used to talk about things which are possible in the present or the future. Definitely. Present simple plus will plus infinitive. If I finish my homework early, I will watch TV. Mary will look for a new job if she doesn't get a raise soon. If Mary doesn't get a raise soon, she will look for a new job. Now, with the comma, we have made difference. Okay, we have made the difference in A and B sentences. Only the difference is of comma, because in B sentence if is in the front and in the A sentence if is in the second part. That's why I have removed the comma. Moving to the second conditional, it is used to talk about things which are really unreal, means purely based on the imagination, maybe past or the future. Past simple, would plus infinitive. If Alice moved abroad, she would learn another language. Important note here to understand. Formal grammar requires that when making these kinds of conditional sentences, we use were for the past tense of be for all subjects, including I, he, she. What I want to say here, I were, if I were the president, okay? If I were you, I would buy that house. Means neither I can be the president, so nor I will make any decision. So she would buy a mansion if she were healthy. So guys, good luck with conditional session today. And before I sign you off, I just want to tell you one simple thing. If we talk about the complications, okay, we can make it complicate, but it is in our hand. So in simple, we can say that conditionals describe the result of a certain condition. Always remember, it describes something. Condition. That is why they are known as conditional sentences. Making conditional sentences in an everyday part of our native language. And in our native language, we are making the sentences like that, in which we mention some conditions. And introducing them to your English conversation can really improve your level of communication. Yes, it will help you if you are using such sentences, such things in your normal speaking. You need to use in your communication in English language. So these will help you. These things will help you to improve your English as well. So there are 4 conditionals in total, as I have done in today's session. You will learn to use them gradually. Obviously starting with the basic ones. Okay, the real condition 01. But here I just want to mention about imagined conditions particularly. Some are possible or likely, means imagined condition, and others are unlikely, means impossible. There are 2 types of imaginations. One, maybe. Second, never it can be. So literally you can say that conditional sentence is a type of a sentence that states a condition, big clue, and the outcome. Outcome means the result of that condition occurring. They are made up of a dependent clause and an independent clause joined to express said condition. An independent clause will start independently, but dependent clause will always start 95% with if. It is the situation, it is a condition. Okay, till the time, see you tomorrow. Stay protected, stay safe, and I hope that you people are making the notes as well. Okay, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.